Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone? It's Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene here, back with another episode. I know we're a couple days behind. There were some people that tweeted and they were like, when's the next episode coming out? So you know what? Here we are. We're back. As you guys know, this whole last week, we were both in Miami. Well, you live practically right next to Miami, but we were both in Miami for all the NFT events happening. And so really this episode is going to be a Miami recap. But we'll talk about a couple other things as well. Mention some things that happened in NFT news. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know, Michael. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Sure. I'll go first.
I'll go first. Okay.
I know for sure. It's good to be back. It's good to be back, though.
It's good to be back. Yes.
Yeah. Miami was crazy, as was New York, and I actually had a disadvantage living so close because I had to keep coming back and forth. I was up early with my kids. It was a long week, but I made the most of it. I would get home at 3 a.m. and back up at 7 for the kids. So,
sheesh.
Yeah, it was tiring, but it was awesome. So the first event I'll talk about, this actually wasn't part of Basel, it was right before, but it was the one place where we saw each other was at FTX Arena at NFT Basel, where they had all those speakers. We both got the press passes, which was cool. Did you go underneath the bleachers into that kind of VIP lounge, and they let you walk behind the stage and sit front row and all that? It was kind of neat. I got to meet Ron English there, one of the VV artists, and he was really, really cool and exchanged information. He's actually going to be interested in coming on Clubhouse and hanging with the other VV artists that we're always with. He was really nice, but he was one of the early speakers, and he dropped some VV alpha that ended up coming true. He told me about the gold one that everybody would get that had all 12 of his before anybody knew it. So I kept my mouth shut though. Yeah.
Alpha leak.
Yeah, I know. That was pretty sweet. I didn't move on it. I knew I should have. I didn't know how quick it was coming. It came 5 days later. I wanted to buy because I have the 4 from series 1. He makes these obese serial characters and gives them funny names. They're the classic serial characters you would know, but he makes them like big and fat, I guess, he's saying cereal makes you, I guess, the sugary. So he's trying to it's kind of a social commentary, I guess, but they're pretty cool. If anybody wants to check it out, Ron English, he was an artist. He was doing sculptures and toys and statues for a long time. And now he's on VV and doing other NFTs. He actually has his own project, the light bulb cult or something like that. It's a 10,000 piece. Yeah, but he was really cool. That was cool to meet him. I hung out with my buddy Jeff there, Crypto Cackles. First time I ever met him. He lives in Boca. He lives right near me. It was cool. I'll shout out some names throughout this episode, so when I'll know who's actually listening when they message me and say thanks for shouting me out. We'll see.
Oh, is that the key?
Yeah, it's going to be a test. Yeah, this is a test of my friends to see who is listening. Yeah, that was a fun time. I hung out there most of the day. I met up with Rob Newman, who I work with, and Creatress was there, a really awesome artist, and my buddy Jason Ostro, who runs Gabba Gallery in Los Angeles, who's really one of my favorite people in the whole space. He's super cool, super nice. So we hung out there and watched some speeches and just walked around the arena and all that. It was an okay event. They didn't fill the place up. They didn't have any top tier speakers, but there was some interesting stuff. It was fun to be there, see all the NFT people. It was at the Miami Heat Arena. They call it the FTX Arena now.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Yeah. So that was Tuesday the 30th. And so then later that evening, I met up with, there was actually after party. Did I make it to that? What did I do that evening?
Wait, the upstream after party? Because I was there, I didn't see you.
No, it wasn't. No, there was an after party for the NFT Basel, but I didn't actually make it to. I'm trying to remember what I did that evening. I met up with Joe Bradley. I think we all went over to South Beach, and what the heck happened? I don't remember what we did that.
Bro,
evening.
you're supposed to take notes of your experience.
Yeah, this is actually not good now that I get into this. I'm doing
Just
this.
Skip over the stuff you don't remember. It's fine. It's fine.
Right. I'm doing this off the dome now, so I'm gonna figure this out.
Oh god. I literally had to write everything out. I was like, no way I'm gonna remember. I had to look through my Twitter, look at the photos.
I absolutely. I actually, right before we got on, I started writing down, but I was like, what the heck did I do each night? The second night was really, really cool. Although the second afternoon, okay. So that was Tuesday, FTX Arena. Wednesday, I went to Scope. We also had a press pass for that. So got to go in early and walk all around. Awesome art. Scope it's like these big tents on the beach. Did you make it over to that at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Scope was cool. It's like these big tents set up on the beach and right on South Beach. And there's like these galleries and artists set up little rooms and they're all for sale. And it's kind of like pop culture, contemporary modern stuff, like real modern. A lot of like pop culture characters you would see, like Yoda things and different stuff like that. Yeah, it was a really great display of stuff. Super Chief Gallery was there and they were showing off NFTs. Actually, that was a really cool thing to do. And that was Wednesday morning in the afternoon that I hung out there. Got some Cuban for lunch, which was awesome. Wednesday night was actually really cool. The Museum of Graffiti. Did you go to that at all this week?
No, I didn't.
There's so much. I know there's like a million things, but so the Museum of Graffiti, they had a party going on, and it was Talib Kweli was performing there. Hip hop, a rapper, an MC that I've listened to for over 20 years. So I hadn't seen him perform in a long time. That was super cool. He was actually just DJing, but it was cool to see him. The Museum of Graffiti was really cool. It was like it was indoors, but it had all kinds of
that sounds cool
different things. Yeah, and then there was an outdoor space. Also went that evening to a party by the guys from Eternal Royals. Drew, who runs that, invited me, and that went up to that. That was kind of a small, packed, happening. It was cool. Open bar, like they all are. Like there's so many things going on. That was Wednesday. Thursday morning, I went back to Scope because there was a like a whitelist, a mint pass to be had that they were giving out for one of the Quantum.art, Justin Aversano's projects. And they were only giving out like 30 or 40 of them. And I was actually there super early. I would have been first in line, but not for a miscommunication. I didn't get in line early enough and did not get it, sadly. So I woke up like super early. I woke up like super early, drove all the way down there and missed out on it. I was actually hanging out with VGF. That's where I met Brian Morris for the first time, who, if you've listened to the podcast, you've heard me talk about him before. One of my favorite artists. And we were in line way too late. So missed that one by like 15 people, sadly. And then as soon as they were selling for over 1 ETH, literally like a half hour later. I know, like people that got to pay for their whole trip, but it was, we heard about it. Jason Oster actually told us about it. We went down there and just didn't get in the right line. Didn't get in line when we needed to. So that happened on Thursday. Thursday night, I think, was the Coinbase party with Marshmello and Gary Vee was there.
Ooh, I love Marshmello.
Yeah. That was in Wynwood. Wynwood's an awesome neighborhood. It's like the art district in kind of just outside of downtown Miami. You can go there and there's murals on all the walls. There's artists painting. There's lots of galleries and restaurants and shops. Really happening neighborhood. Really, really nice there. So that party, we actually couldn't end up getting in. It just was like, it was the line, and they weren't letting people in, and they were at capacity. So we kind of ended up just strolling around. And I'm not sure if we went to any other one that evening. We might have just kind of hung out with our friends and walked around the neighborhood. The weather was beautiful. You know, it was nice just to be outside strolling around. Friday, I think, was the Doing Good party, which was super cool. That was actually probably my favorite one of the whole time. That was at this outdoor space, and there was a dude there painting cars with graffiti, like these like brand new cars. It was like a Dodge Charger and some kind of sports car, and he's going to be auctioning them off. An artist I really like and I've been friends with for a long time, Allison Bamcat. She was there painting like a mural. There was another lady, Jules, who was painting this awesome mural. The mural she was painting was like a spray paint can, but as it was spraying, flowers were coming out, and it was really cool. They did it all in one day, and they're just auctioning those pieces all off for charity. That was a really nice, chill party. I very much enjoyed that. And then headed to, what am I going to say? South Beach again. Yep. This was to the Sagamore Hotel. That was the party that had like Noriega, Busta Rhymes. And there I got to meet, I went with my buddy Albert Polanco, who I spoke about before, met up with he's friends with Alexander Mazzi from NFTs Tips, who I've never met before, but I've known for a long time. Saw Benjamin there for,
I saw Benjamin like every event I was at.
How does that happen?
I know,
we said that in New York too.
He's always at everything.
Ben is a mover and a shaker, man. That's really funny. I was gonna say, I can't believe you said that, because I saw him like 4 times. I only saw you once, and you saw him. It's like, it's so crazy. It's so who else was there? Cheetah Cowboy was there, who I've been friends with for many, many months, and first time meeting him. He's a really smart dude. He's got his Cheetah Cowboy ape, which is like a cheetah skin with an ape hat, with a cowboy hat. And then he also goes around to every other project he can find and also buys cheetah apes. And he's going to like Cheetah Cowboys, and he has all the domain names. And one day he says he's going to sell it all as a package.
Ooh.
He all the projects to come out. If they have a cowboy hat and a cheetah skin, he buys it.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. And Saturday was the impromptu, like the Bored Ape party, the Magic City Apes. These guys,
Bored
NFT
Ape
pop.
Basel?
Yeah, Bored Ape Basel. Oh. It was like North Miami. I don't know what neighborhood that's called, but it was like in this warehouse. It was actually a car garage, and they had all these like super fancy cars. They had private label beer, which I actually picked up a 6-pack of. Let me is it right here? No, I put it in the fridge.
Does it say Ape Basel on it?
Yeah. There's a brewery in Delray, Florida called Sweetwater Brewery, and the owner has an ape, and he made these private label, but it's like the Sweetwater beer. Yeah. And the guy that owned the car garage also had an ape. And there's a group of, I'm now in this group, the Twitter chat with all these guys, the Magic City Apes. And we're having a meeting. I think it might be tomorrow. I'm going to have a meeting with those guys and just to be part of the community. There's a whole bunch of apes here in South Florida. So that was really cool to meet everybody. That was a really fun party. Spotty Wi-Fi performed, and Richard Wagner performed.
Hey,
What my buddy Lenny, who I told you about, bought the ape and the serum.
Oh yeah.
I actually told him that story. I said we talked about you, and he hadn't listened to it yet. And I was like, oh, hopefully we didn't say anything bad, because we laughed at him a tiny bit, but just all in good fun, Lenny. But he went and listened to it a couple days later and messaged me laughing. He's like, yeah, I'm crazy. Because remember we said you were like, he's crazy.
Because he just was like went 0 to 100 real quick.
Real quick.
And a mutant.
Yeah.
We made fun of him for buying the serum.
Right.
When he couldn't use the serum. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. Another person I forgot to mention that I ran into at the Sagamore at the Busta Rhymes party. That was Basel Miami. is what that one was called. Kyle, who you also ran into, I think the same night.
Yes.
Yeah. Our buddy
right.
Kyle 570.
He's the one that won the NFT Anonymous CryptoPunk, and he found out about that he was giving it away through our podcast. So yeah, that was super cool to meet him.
Yeah.
And his wife. His wife's awesome.
Yeah. Monique, I believe, right?
Maybe. Yeah, I believe so.
I know. I'm so bad with names. I think it was.
No,
I'm
worse. I'm worse than you
I
with
know.
names.
I know. I asked her a second time just because I wanted to make sure. Who else did I run into at that party? There was a lot of people there that I was really happy to meet, but can't think off the top of my head. I did another couple artists that I hung out with a bunch that week where my buddy Fidget, who's been doing really well, and Concept, the guy who created the Careless Bears, where they sell out every time he drops them. Hung out with both of those guys. Super, super cool. I'm trying to think if there was even more artists that I met up with. I was trying to give a shout out to, but yeah. You also ran into my buddy Mike Stites. Told me that
I told a couple of people. I was like, tell Michael that you ran into me, because like they were like, listen, I'm about to see Michael after this.
Yeah.
Tell Michael you saw me. But your friend. I ran into your friend or two of your friends, I think. And we were talking for a bit, and that was cool.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, he's been listening. He's just getting into NFTs. He's been listening to the podcast for a while. He compliments me on it. And he actually sent a couple like Facebook posts out about it. Really good dude. We've been friends for a long time. And I actually got to hang out with him for about an hour or so. That was the night. Oh yeah, that was the night we tried to get into the Coinbase thing, and it just was ridiculous. Yeah, so that was the last thing I did was that Bored Ape party, which was super, super cool. Made a lot of good connections there. What about you?
Nice.
What about you?
Let me see. I flew in on Monday night, November 29th, and I flew in from Arizona because I was visiting my family for Thanksgiving. And then I really started doing stuff on Tuesday, the 30th. So I went to the NFT Basel event as well. That was at the FTX arena. And that was super cool. I personally first of all, thank you for getting me a media pass for that. Because like you said, you got to go backstage and also sit in like the first two rows, which I love sitting in the very front because I get distracted easily with people like moving their heads and stuff. So like, I don't like to sit behind people. Like, in movie theaters, I'm like, I want to be in the front. I don't want anyone in front of me. So that was super fun. And my sister and I were just like absorbing all the information. There was a ton of different panels that they did. Roz, our friend Roz was there. She was hosting a panel. Will from Cryptoys, he was speaking. So that was super cool. Yeah, like you said, it wasn't really filled up too much. It was interesting because in the beginning, they tried to kind of cater it to like as if people didn't know what NFTs were. But then they're like, raise your hand if you have an NFT. And it was like, everyone raised their hand. Like everyone there had an NFT, So it was funny because they were teaching like GM means good morning and NGMI means never going to make it. And it was just like kind of funny that they were teaching the terminology. But anyway, so yeah, that was super cool. And then we went to this upstream after party, which was like just a small, fun little party. Met up with some friends there. And then it was two of my friends' birthday, Jason and CST. So I went with a group of friends to Nobu, which is like this like super bougie restaurant. And that was super cool. It was a fun experience. And by the way, you can, if you want like visuals, like pictures or whatever to go along with what I'm saying, you can just check out my Twitter, Jennifer_Sutto, SUTTO, because I pretty much like post all the photos on there. But and then Wednesday, December 1st, my sister's boss, Will, from Cryptoys, he had a speech at this like Miami tech event. And that was cool. It wasn't really like NFT people there. It was just mostly like Miami tech people there. And then we went to Sports Basel after that, which was awesome. That's where I met your friends. And then I met a couple of people that said they listened to the podcast there, actually. That's always super fun. Then after that, after Sports Basel, I went to the Proof of Party, the Degenerates Proof of Party Degenerates Party at night, which that's the NFT I was talking about that I bought specifically for the parties because they honestly threw a really cool party. I loved that they were displaying NFTs and art at the party. It was really cool. Siege Phrase was DJing, and I got to see what he looks like without his like punk helmet head cover thing. And honestly, he was like a lot younger than I thought he would be. Considering he holds like a super valuable like 7 trait punk. Anyway, and then I met Farouk, I met Arena BB Art, I met Nicole Nixon. I met a bunch of people there, and that was just fun. It was a little bit more like a chill party. And then after that, the next day, that's all I did for that night. And then Thursday on the 2nd, my friend, Peter and Swicky got a cabana at this like pool party place in the afternoon. And we were just like hanging out there. My sister did a live stream. We did like a ladies' night live stream. And we interviewed like Spotty and all that. And it was just super cool. Fun, very fun time. And then after that, my sister and I went to this boat party, which was like basically this super bougie yacht. And shout out to Will from Cryptois for inviting me and my sister to that. And Roz was there, and there was a ton of like investors and such at the yacht party. But it was really awesome. We were on the boat for like 3 hours, and yeah, it was just like it was really cool to go onto the yacht. And especially since like in the Miami like waters, I don't know like what it was called or whatever, like if there was a certain name, but like the Miami waters, it was just so beautiful. And it was like during the day, you know, so you could see, and then we got to see the sunset, and it was just so beautiful. And I actually saw Gary V in a yacht next to the yacht we were on, and my sister yells out, and she's like, Gary. And she like, so he's like, hi, Gary. And she like waves, and he looks over, and he was like, hey. And then I was like, I waved at him too. And it was funny. He was like in the yacht right next to us as we passed them. But yeah, that was super cool.
I'm jealous.
I know. I was like, oh, I have to tell Michael that I met Gary V. Well, I didn't meet him, but like I saw him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the yacht took us to this. After it kind of cruised around, it like went back, dropped off some people, and then it took us to this private mansion party, which was like insane. Like it was huge, first of all, the mansion. And there were like acrobats there. There was this girl like hanging from a hula hoop, pouring champagne into our glasses. Diplo performed there, but we left before he performed. Yeah, I mean, that was just like insane. That was so cool. I honestly felt like so blessed to like know people that invite me to these type of things. It was just so cool. You know, I'm just a small town girl over here growing up with chickens. So I'm just like mansion party, yacht party, what the heck? Anyway, so then after that, my sister and I, we went, our friends, Peter and Swicky, it was their anniversary. So happy anniversary to them. But we went out to Story Nightclub, which is this like super nice nightclub that literally closes at like 5 a.m. So it's like it's super late. But yeah, that was fun. We got to see Diplo perform. He was performing at that too. Wow. Story Nightclub. Yeah. So that guy was busy that day. But vodka Red Bulls keep me up till 5. And then that's when I physically became down. That's when I physically was down bad, and I fell / got dropped / wrecked my shoulder. And so that's when I injured myself physically. But yeah, no, I'm recovering. I'm doing good now. I'm fine. But anyway, I literally went to sleep at 7:30 that night, which was like insane, because then we went over to our friend's house and hung out for a bit after. And then I had to wake up 3 hours later because Peter and Swicky got this cabana they reserved this cabana from like noon to 2, and my sister was hosting another ladies' night stream, and I had to be on that, and I was so dead. I was literally like eating a salad on the stream. Like I couldn't even fake a smile. I was just like so drained and so like I was like, oh, because the day yesterday I literally on Thursday I had basically drank all day, and I was just like so like brain fog, you know. So anyways, yeah, I had to do that. But that was the ladies' night was cool. We had Sarah Stargirl, Swicky, me, my sister, and then Tae Wee. She's the creator of Cosmic Girls on, and we just chatted for like an hour. And then my sister and I went back to our Airbnb, and we just like passed out until it was time for the Pudgy Penguins party, which I really wanted to go to. Because I like Cole, and I wanted to, you know, go to the party, support, and I got to meet Cole again, and I was in Cool Times vlog, and I met one of my coworkers, Ray, for the first time, and then Preety, Corporate Trash, and then, you know, more of my friend groups was there. Like you said, I met Kyle, who won the Punk, and his wife, and then the next day, Saturday, this is the last day that I wrote notes. So I think that was the last of my experience. So Saturday was the NFT-BA basketball tournament. So Peter and Jasmine put on this whole basketball tournament, basically a bunch of NFT degenerates playing basketball. There was like 6 teams. It was a whole thing. Spotty performed, Richard Wagner performed. There was a whole 3-point contest where the winner got a doodle. It was pretty lit. It was great. I mean, there wasn't like alcohol there or anything. It wasn't like lit like that, but it was like fun to watch everyone playing basketball. And then I went to the Gutter Cat Gang party. I was supposed to host a panel, but that fell through. So honestly, I was kind of happy that it didn't have to host the panel anymore. But yeah, they like canceled the panel. And so then, I met up with Arena, who I feel like is like one of the most loyal Gutter Cat Gang members. Like she's had her Gutter Cat as her profile picture for like since the beginning, since she got it. And she has like apes and everything too. Anyway, met up with Young Content, Danny Ukes, Franklin with the Gold Ape, and a bunch of other people. And then finally went to Live nightclub, which is also a super bougie nightclub that closes at 5 a.m. For some reason, all the bougie nightclubs close at 5 a.m. in Miami. Who would have thought? That was super fun as well. Went with a bunch of friends.
Was that Saturday?
That was Saturday, yeah.
Live? Yeah, for Steve Aoki.
Steve Aoki was performing, yeah.
Yeah,
Steve
my coworker Nikki was there with her friend.
That's cool. Yeah, we saw there was like crypto Twitter influencers there. Who was it? Like Size Chad, and like I saw, and it was funny because their signs were so funny. Like because you know, like they like bring out the bottles and then they like have a sign. And like one of them was like down bad. And it was just like stuff that it was like just random.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Steve Aoki was wearing an ape jacket.
Was he? Oh,
yep.
I didn't.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then Sarah Stargirl put together a whole like 6-minute vlog of everything she did, and I'm in it a bunch. I retweeted it on Twitter.
Oh, cool! I gotta check that. Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Like, it was so cool, and she put together like it was like a new frame changing every 1 second, and then I don't know, it was just a really fun video to watch, and it like really encapsulated the whole Miami NFT events experience. But honestly, Miami compared to New York, I feel like the events were more chill. There wasn't as many people. And like, obviously the weather is like a lot better in Miami. So it's like, you didn't have to like freeze when you were not inside of a place. It was just nice. So yeah, and I'm honestly not nearly as down bad as I was after New York. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I'm ready to just go back to my normal routine and not go to any more NFT events until NFT Land in March.
Yeah,
like,
that's probably where I'm at. I'm
so
considering that there's an Ethereum thing in Denver in February. I love Denver, so I'm half considering that one.
Ooh.
But definitely Vegas. Vegas is 100%.
Yeah, Vegas. Vegas would be crazy.
Yeah.
But it'll
will
be fun.
Be crazy. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, especially in 4 months from now. Whew.
Is it 4 months from now? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, pretty much March. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, that's our Miami recap experience. Hopefully you guys got to get a better idea of, what things were like, live vicariously through our stories. I don't know. But yeah, it's always fun meeting people in real life. Like, honestly, it's like,
yeah, that's the best part. That's the best part for sure. The hugs, people you've spoken to like a lot, over the last 6 months and become friends with. And, it's amazing on these audio social platforms, kind of how close we can become with people. Yeah, no, that's what it's all about for sure. It was a good. Did you get caught in any of that traffic that I warned about going from South Beach to Wynwood?
Yeah, well, I lifted everywhere, but sometimes the lifts would get stuck in traffic. There was
the traffic was really bad. And I was saying I had to drive back and forth. It was about an hour. Sometimes it took even longer with the traffic. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is it like this all the time in Miami, or is this just like because of everything happening?
Well, it's funny down here in the wintertime, there is a lot more traffic. In the summer, there's like no traffic anywhere because, everyone's the population swells this time of year. Plus the Art Basel, obviously.
Yeah.
So that added to it. But so what a time. I'm glad you had fun. The weather was beautiful the entire time. The weather was like perfect.
Yes,
really.
it was. Honestly, I was like, oh, I want to move to Miami. Like, I was like,
I know.
I was like falling in love with the city.
Yeah, it's a really cool city. Lots of art everywhere. A lot of museums, things to do. The water. Obviously, it's so beautiful being out on the water.
Yes,
it
is.
Yep, good stuff. Let's break into some news of what's been happening in the NFT space over the last 8 or 9 days. We actually we asked last week. I asked you. I said, "Do you think the apes can flip the punks?" And this was before any of this drama. But you said yes, and I agreed. I think I thought eventually it could. The last I looked, the apes are 52 and the punks are like 68. So it's that's like really close.
Pretty neck and neck.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, what was the one guy? So one of the guys was it's just a number like 7164 or something. I don't remember exactly, but he started selling some of his apes, right?
Yes. So I think he sold like 30, and he was like a big punk. No, not apes, punks. He was a
punks.
Big
I'm sorry.
Whale.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think he bought him for like super cheap too and stuff. He's just held on for a while, but yeah, he kind of just got frustrated with the punks, Larva Labs, and he just dumped a ton, and then that caused a chain reaction, and then everyone's like going on Twitter and giving their opinions on things. Yeah.
The apes are coming. The apes are coming. I want them both to do well. I'll not gloat, but I will be. I think it will be a cool day when/if the apes flip the punks. But I don't wish bad on the punks. I want them to do awesome also.
Right. Well, honestly, if the punks go down, that's not good for any NFTs, I think.
Exactly.
That you don't want the punks to go down. You don't want them to crash and burn. That would be bad. That would be really bad.
Let them both go to 100,
For sure. Yeah. I think there's room for
for sure.
Yeah. There's room for a lot of people. There's room for a lot of projects to succeed. So it's not like one or the other. Yeah, a lot of people are starting to pin them against each other, like punks versus apes. It's like, it's really not punks versus apes. It's like, I mean, they're totally different things. But I mean, punks are just historical. Punks have just been around since 2017, and like, they were just these free to claim NFTs. You know, the first like generative avatar project, and apes are more of like a membership. They're more of like, you know, they have more community and they're more like membership based. But I do think like the punk holders are stronger hands.
There's a lot less. There's a lot less of them. That's for sure.
But there's a lot less unique owners because a lot of people lost their, you know, accounts and their punks. So who knows what the true supply is on those?
I think we spoke last week about that wallet that owns 40 of them that hasn't been active in 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah.
That nobody knows who it is.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me ask a dumb question and see if you know the answer. I keep seeing when people are talking about the Larva Labs, they keep talking about CCO or CC0. Yeah. What is that?
So it's basically where you have the rights. You have like the IP rights, and you're able to like make money off of, like, if you have a punk, like you're able to like build a brand around it and make money off of, you know, sell merch with your specific punk and stuff like that, which is what Bored Apes have. But
what, do you know what it stands for? Do you know what it stands for?
I had looked it up because I was like, what? Why is everyone talking CC0? And I'm like, what is that?
Right. That's exactly because I figured from the context clues that it meant what you said. I just didn't know what it stood for. Like, and I felt kind of silly, but I figured out, you know, probably a lot of people don't know. I don't know.
CC0 is the no copyright reserved option in the Creative Commons toolkit.
Okay.
It effectively means relinquishing all copyright and similar rights that you hold in a work and dedicating those rights to the public domain. Also, you know what I just found out is that, so you know how punks were given out for free? Like they were free to claim. Well, they also have no royalties, apparently, on the punks. Like, did you know that?
They're not. Larva Labs is not collecting royalties. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I mean, I haven't officially confirmed, but some whale was saying that, and so that is that. You know, that kind of adds another something into the mix as well. I think because it's like, well, they're not getting any. You know, they're not gaining any monetary benefit from them anymore, you know. So I think that's another, it's like, it's not like they promised to do anything, you know, with the punks. I mean, they came out with Meebits. That was really the only thing that they did.
They brought in a lot of money with that one. And they're probably getting royalties on those, I would only imagine.
Right. It would make sense.
No, that's no, you're right though. That's really interesting. That's actually a really good point to know. I never knew that.
Yeah. So interesting.
Wow. Yeah. So that's really interesting. So the momentum is there. For a little bit, it felt like only a matter of time before the apes were gonna take over. So let's see when that happens. Maybe people want to predict a date when that would happen. Sometime in I could see it. I could see it this spring. I could see February, March, April.
Spring.
It could happen anytime. Like there could be something that happens that sets it off, and like it could happen.
Maybe the game. Like I know they were supposed to come out with their mobile app game, but then they got rugged by Apple because I don't know, the token issue stuff. I think, but I mean that could be a reason. You know, people wanting tokens for how many, you know, apes they have and stuff. So I mean, I think as long as there's incentive, something to really like set things off, then I could see it happening in the next couple months.
Yeah, I could. That's pretty close now. You know, like I mean, it could definitely happen. Yeah, for sure.
But if I had a punk, I wouldn't sell it for an ape. To be honest, I would just keep it.
Yeah, you don't want to sell it low because it could definitely have a run at any time for sure. Somebody comes in, decides to buy up a whole bunch. But that's crazy that one guy sold 30 of them. Good for him. You know, that's probably brought in $10 million, you know?
He's the founder of Nouns. He like created Nouns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the punks have their own projects and been, you know, part of a lot of other projects. It's definitely, for sure. They're the OGs in the space. So what else there was some big news that I was reading about today. This is right. You mentioned game. Actually, real quick, I will say, because you mentioned the Bored Apes game, you know, the Wolf game has been shut down for like a couple weeks now.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
How is that Ponzi going?
I actually, I don't know. I don't even want to say a couple of things I heard, but it's who knows, man. People are still heavily invested in it.
Yeah.
And they want it to do well. So hopefully it'll get that game going, and it's not a true Ponzi.
It's just that it was so like lucrative so fast and so
I know,
volatile that's never really like a good sign.
Yeah. There's a couple other games like Wizards and Dragons that's actually doing well, supposedly.
Well, I can imagine a ton of, similar game mechanisms coming out, but it's like, like true games take years to build,
Yeah.
True games.
And speaking of games, so UBISOFT, who's the maker of Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, they are going to be adding NFTs into their game, becoming the first mainstream video game to do so. And they have a platform called Quartz, which is going to do it. They're actually they're going to be giving them out to free for players and people that qualify like real soon, I think. And they're the first ones, the first of many. They're all going to do it, Fortnite and Call of Duty and all that. They're all going to do it. But this is the first one. So that was a really big story. And that actually came out today when I read about that. Yeah. Wow.
That's some alpha right there.
Yeah. I think it's for the PC version from what I read. I'm not a game player personally, so I don't know too much about it, but I have heard that game's name before. I know Tom Clancy's like a famous author. But yeah, they're going to add NFTs into their game, like as they should, because kids have been buying these skins and these weapons and stuff for years and not owning it. And now they're going to be able to own it.
Yeah, we've been saying gaming is the next wave. Gaming is the next wave.
Yeah, so. Gaming is, I heard a lot about when I was in Miami was Gala Games. Do you know Gala Games?
No.
Yeah, Gala, Gala. A lot of people were talking about them. I actually meant to look at the token and see what was up because there was a lot of buzz about Gala Games. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So gaming, I'm trying to keep my finger on that pulse and try and hit something good in the next little bit. That'd be nice. And Pac had another drop on Nifty Gateway. Did you see that one at all? Did you buy any of those?
I didn't buy any, but I
either,
saw on Twitter about it.
Yeah. It went down really well. It was kind of cool. He started the price low, and as it went, it got a little higher. 28,000 buyers of 266,000 pieces, and so that sold for $91.8 million in 48 hours, which is amazing. Congratulations. His name is Murat Pak. Their name is Murat Pak. They are anonymous. I don't think anybody really knows who they are at this point. There's the question is, because I think the way that they're trying to set it up is it's going to end up being one piece of art that like all comes together. I don't even know how the mechanics work, but so people are trying to claim that it was like the highest single piece ever sold. Right now it's Beeple's every day. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's semantics. $91 million is $91 million.
Yeah.
What else did Pac do? Pac did the Lost Poets and the cubes before that. Like they're all real interesting. And somebody called him the Banksy of NFTs.
The Banksy? Who's Banksy?
You don't know Banksy? The dude from the guy that put out all those, like, you would recognize if you Googled Banksy. Banksy actually has an NFT coming out. Banksy actually has an NFT coming out as well. BANKSY. I think he's from London. He's also anonymous, and but he's done all kinds of like things all around the world, like unauthorized, like paintings on walls and different crazy things.
Do we know that it's a guy?
Nah, I think everyone says and assumes it is, but that's probably just an assumption because I think that person is completely anonymous.
That's cool.
Yeah. but they have a famous one called Love is in the Air, and it's going to be broken up into 10,000 like little squares of the artwork, and each person gets a tiny square. I think they're selling them for like $1,500. And there's
I
actually
see Love is in the Air.
Yeah,
That looks cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. I went to a museum where they were displaying this stuff one time. There's a website right now. I think it's called Particle. Yep. It's particlecollection.com. And you can go there and put your email address in. And if you actually invite 5 people with your unique link, then you get early access on, I guess, the whitelist or something. But so I just added my email address earlier today, and it says I'm currently number 127,972.
Jeez.
I know. But so that's actually probably going to be worth a lot of money. I'm going to try and get 5 people to sign up with my link in that, now that I see that I'm that high of a number. Yeah, that might have those Damien Hirst vibes where, that one I bought for 2,000 and sold it for 11 ETH. So
that's right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just saying. I have no idea. Most of the Love is in the Air, like I think most of it's just going to be a white square, which is kind of weird. But
that's kind of lame.
Yeah, right. You're just going to get a white square. Someone's going to pay thousands.
It's going to be the ones that aren't the white square that'll be the valuable ones.
Exactly. The ones that have a little bit of color in it, piece of the flower. Like if you get a piece of the flower, it'll be worth a ton of money.
Right.
Yeah, but Banksy's. Banksy's I think some of his stuff is sold for tens of millions in the past. Do you remember a few years ago there was a piece of art that like went through a shredder? Like it was like a big, so like somebody bought this piece of art at auction, and I think as soon as the auction closed, like there was like a shredder built into the frame, and like the art went like the piece of art went like halfway down through the shredder, and it like ribboned it up.
Oh my God.
I think it made it worth even more. It was like a,
Oh, wow.
Like it's art's weird, right?
Yeah. I've never really been that into art until like NFTs, honestly. Like NFTs got me into art.
Same with me. Yes. NFTs got me into art. I was never a collector. I didn't know any of these artists, like all these guys I'm meeting, and like even like Frank Kozik, and Jermaine Rogers, and those guys are legends. And I never knew those guys. I never knew like people like Cause. I never heard of Damien Hirst before he dropped Currency.
Same.
To be straight honest with you. Yeah. So like, right. We talked about Pac, we talked about Banksy, those are some big names in the space. Banksy coming in. Hopefully I'm going to try and get 5 people to sign up, and I'll let everybody know how that goes. So if I get a piece of that, because I would pay $1,500. I'd pay $1,500 for a little tiny white square.
Oh my God.
Why?
I would not. But
yeah.
Good luck to you.
I remember when the Currency was coming out, people were like, they got accepted, and they were like, should I do it? I don't know. So I was like, all right, but we'll see. I think this one will probably be good too, but not financial advice.
Not financial advice.
Never. I read an article today that DraftKings is going to be launching an NFT-based game next NFL season. So like in September, that you'll actually be able to play games as your favorite player. Yeah. So like you'll be able to, I guess, buy these different players and maybe do daily fantasy, or I'm not really sure exactly what they're going to do with it. But yeah, I'm sure it's going to be cool. The NFL is doing a lot of stuff. Obviously, they're doing the Dapper, the NFL All Day.
Yep. Those are coming soon.
Yeah. And then speaking of DraftKings, I was able to pick up 2 of those Tom Brady mystery boxes today. They were $80 each. I was able to get in early because I had 2 of his like original NFTs from autograph.io and on DraftKings, if you remember those, all those ones they were doing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So I had those, and that allowed me to get in early on this next one, which was really cool. And so I bought those today. Yeah. So
Congratulations.
yeah. Thanks. Super excited. Kind of. That kind of stuff I just buy and I'm just putting away, and then hopefully one day it's worth a good amount of money.
Buying, holding, hoping it appreciates.
I'm not even looking at it. Yep. And so OpenSea the other day, the rumor came out, or they mentioned that they were going to do an IPO and not a token, and everybody was kind of
people were so
about
mad.
It. Yeah.
Because everyone just wants a piece of the pie. Everyone wants to be rewarded, and plus it's like, they're taking the Web 2 route, not the Web 3 route. And obviously people are not happy about that. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've never been into stocks. I've only been in crypto. So I'm like, I'm not going to be buying any like OpenSea stocks, but I don't know. I mean, interesting.
Right. There was actually, the reason I wanted to bring that up is because just about an hour or two ago, and let me find this, 3 hours ago, Brian Roberts, who was the new CFO of OpenSea, the former CFO of Lyft, tweeted this: there was an inaccurate reporting about OpenSea's plans. Let me set the record straight. There is a big gap between thinking about what an IPO might eventually look like and actively planning one. We are not planning an IPO, and if we ever did, we would look to involve the community. That came out 3 hours ago. Yep, from Brian Roberts. Yeah, so that sounds like a huge backtrack. Like they were like, dude, get out there and stop fudding OpenSea.
Wait, so then they're not doing an IPO?
Well, it sounds like they, the tweet is basically saying that, we were kind of floating the idea, but
oh my God, was it like when Discord was like, oh, we're thinking about, I don't know, they were like thinking about doing something with like NFTs or whatever. And then all of like the anti-NFTers were like, we're protesting you, don't be doing this. And then they're like, just kidding, like it was just an idea.
That sounds like exactly what it's like. That's
my God, that's so funny.
Marketing in 2021. You throw an idea out there, you throw it out there, see what sticks on the wall.
Wait, who tweeted that? Who tweeted that?
It's Brian Roberts, Roberts. Yep. Roberts. It's his @ is BK Roberts.
Oh, BK Roberts.
Yep. And he was the former the CFO of Lyft. I think he just came recently.
He's the CFO of OpenSea. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And only one day ago, he tweeted, "It's official. My next chapter will be spent at OpenSea." So, like a little bit of damage control that one day in. I know. Funny. Brian Roberts. Good for him.
All right. Well, we'll see what ends up happening with OpenSea.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. We all would like some free tokens. OpenSea. We would like to recover some of that gas that we've been spending.
Oh my God.
Do you ever go to fees.wtf?
No. Did you ever go to that?
I did yesterday.
Oh, tell me how much.
It was like $50-some thousand in gas.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I know. I think it's tax deductible though.
Let's go.
Yeah, I need to ask my accountant.
I feel like NFTs are going to take a huge nosedive dip at the end of this year because everyone like trying to sell their bags for taxes.
For sure. And there's a lot of people that are selling things for a loss to get a loss on their ledger.
Right. Yep.
Banksy posted their fees.wtf and it was like $1.7 million.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Worth it.
Worth it. Yeah. They definitely made a lot more. Yeah. They definitely made definitely a lot more than that. So at least they're, obviously that would really suck if they were not up. Yeah. But they're definitely up.
1,000 apes.
Woo. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go over to CryptoSlam. Let's see what's happening in the last 7 days. We've been out of it a little bit. So All right. Couple new ones. Let's see what's up. Axie Infinity, number one, as always. They even have more transactions than normal. Axie Infinity is insane. CryptoPunks, number two. A lot of action on them. 84 buyers, which is way more than normal. Number three is a Wizards and Dragons game. The one that I mentioned a little bit earlier. They did 38 million.
Oh.
5,500 buyers, pretty crazy. Bored Apes, number four. Sandbox, number five, still crushing it. The Ape Kids Club. I know about it, but I didn't really study it.
I know
at all.
Dingling bought a bunch of those.
Oh yeah, that did a lot of volume. 5,100 buyers, 10,000 transactions. That's way more. That's a really strong. Those are really strong numbers for them. Crypto Bull Society, which I also don't know about, is number 7. The Mutants are number 8. The Desperate Ape Wives are number 9. I've heard a lot of people talking about that. I didn't get into that one. I don't know if you did.
No, I don't know much about that.
Yeah, that's got some potential. I hear some of the right things. I might look into that. Art Blocks is number 10. I don't think we've mentioned them in a while. Wolf Game number 12. Farmer's World that we always kept seeing from Wax is down to number 15. They're down 55% in volume over last week.
There we go.
World. Yeah, Farmer's World. Yep.
Our favorite Wax token.
Our favorite Wax token.
All right. Well, that's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much. And by the way, I literally just flew back home last night. So excuse me if I'm low energy today. I'm still taking time to recover. But yeah, we will catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll probably shoot to record this weekend, so it'll be much less of a time gap. But yeah, catch you all later. Oh yeah. Oh, also wait, we have to say, if you we're doing a Q&A, right? We're doing a Q&A podcast episode.
Yep.
Next week.
Yep. Is it? I don't know. Andy put it on the schedule.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I forget exactly when. We are going to do it though, and Andy put out a tweet in the NFT Catcher podcast, which Twitter, which we're now over 1,000 followers. So if anybody wants to follow, please feel free.
Hey.
But go over there, send us a question, and hopefully we'll answer your question on air.
There we go. All right, folks. Catch you in the next episode. Peace.
We're taking questions to answer in air. If you've got something you want to ask Michael or Jenny, drop us a voice memo or video we can use in an upcoming episode of the show. No financial advice, of course. Send your question to nftcatcherpod@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFTCatcherPod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.